It's gonna be the intro and the outro, I think.
Okay.
I'm really drunk right now.
You are
Tonight?
fit.
I'll get mine out. I got mine. Hello, friends. Welcome back to the channel. My name is Morgan M. Steele. I'm an author, and sometimes I get drunk and read shit with my friends. Today, we are reading something from the treasure trove of Morgan's ancient writings. I wrote this when I was 15 years old. It is called The Weight of the World. It is definitely not a Sky High knockoff. But yeah, we read the first 12-ish chapters. We skipped a little bit. But we're going to come back to it. We didn't think we were. And we are. We're going to come back to it. We're going to read some more. I don't know when that's going to be. Go ahead and introduce yourself, friends.
Go ahead. Introduce yourself.
Oh, why do I have to go next? Why do you get to go last, huh? My name is Phil, and I have a channel called Phil with 1L, where I do movies and pop culture commentary, sometimes with the turtle guy, sometimes by myself. But yeah, you can come join me over there. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, like he just said, I'm Connor, aka Movie Turtle. Similar to Phil, I do pretty much whatever I want to talk about: movies, video games, books, etc. So go check it out,
Yay.
please.
Yeah, I have linked to both of their channels in the past, and I will continue to do so as we continue to talk about shit together. As they say, write drunk, edit sober. Today we have read drunk. Turn down my recording settings like a lot. That tooting was peaking my levels.
I know, I'm sorry.
No, you're good. Very fun. My cheeks are like so hot right now. So I'm on the Weight of the World doc right now. I don't think it shows where we are unless we have editing privileges, but I just gave you all commenting. Feel free to comment whatever you want on this book I wrote in 2015.
Whatever I want,
Whatever
you say.
Oh
you
my
want,
God.
Connor.
Please, Cutter.
Do you guys want me to narrate, or do one of you want to narrate?
You can narrate for now. Just because.
Alright, yeah. For sure we'll do chapter 1, and then we can kind of play it by ear, because I don't know when it goes off the rails. So, I don't remember, like, anything from this. The last time I read it, I was, like, 16. Because I wrote it for 2015 NaNoWriMo, and then I edited it, like, very briefly one time, and then I never read it ever again. So, that is the knowledge we are going in with. The Weight of the World by Morgan M. Steele. Chapter 1.
I know her.
Oh my god! Chapter 1. A girl's 16th birthday is supposed to be magical. They're promised a fairy tale, a perfect day where everything goes right. No broken hearts, no broken promises, no problems, right? Well, things aren't so simple when you're the daughter of the world's most famous superhero. Liberty Justice, the daughter of Captain Justice, a former military superhero turned super. She sighed and glanced up from her phone. She was sitting on a park bench in the courtyard of her boarding school. Her golden blonde hair swept back into a high ponytail, and her blue eyes searched the sky, waiting, watching. Finally, there he was, soaring through the sky. He landed in front of her, his massive golden cape billowing in the wind. His golden hair was swept upwards and out of his face. The purple uniform that hugged his biceps was as regal as ever, and just as skin tight for that matter. Okay.
Word.
Right off the back with the extreme daddy issues. Gotta love it.
Happy birthday, baby girl. He beamed, his blue eyes earnest. Sorry I'm late, but giant robots don't just fight themselves, you know.
Can Connor be Liberty?
Yes.
No. Why is that?
I need it. Because I need it.
I have to preface, behind the camera person, not an actor.
Okay.
I know, I understand.
Liberty replied quietly. She tucked her phone into her pocket and stood to hug her father. He held her close in his strong arms, careful not to squeeze too hard, and then ruffled her hair beneath his large hand.
He's trying.
Liberty told herself.
Give him Give him a chance.
I got you something.
Oh, really?
She cocks her eyebrow.
What might that be?
That requires a bit of a field trip. He looked around the school grounds. Do you need me to sign a permission slip or anything?
As long as I'm with you, that's good enough.
She answered. She held up her
Why did you
wrist.
gotta have a southern twang?
That's canon now.
I
Yes.
feel like a person named Liberty would have a southern accent.
She has to, right?
Yeah.
I don't know if we actually ever go into like where she's from. And this was before I started making up my own cities, so there's no like lore yet. She held up her wrist, flashing the thick golden cuff around her wrist. I still do that when I like reiterate things I've already said. That one didn't get cut in the edit. The purple gem on it gleamed.
I'll just keep this on then.
Are you sure?
I'm fine. I'm used to it.
Liberty agreed. The cuffs were suppressors, designed to block out the powers of students while they were on school grounds. After all, you wouldn't want one of them to go rogue.
But my cuff means I can't fly.
We'll take care of that. The captain bent forward and scooped his daughter up in his arms. They flew off into the sky, her hair rushing all around her face. Liberty and the captain soared beside the clouds, looking all around at the city beneath them. The skyscrapers seemed so far away from up here, and Liberty loved every second. It was one thing she missed while she was at school. She couldn't fly everywhere as she was usually able to. After what seemed like only a few minutes, Captain Justice touched down outside a lavish mansion, the house Liberty had been raised in before she was sent to Skyview School for Superheroes. Liberty had never had any siblings, but she had played so many games running through these halls and up these stairs. She missed it with all of her heart. She glanced at a frame on the wall, a picture of her mother, and looked away quickly. Instead, she looked up at her father. He was smiling widely. His hand came to rest on her shoulder as he led her down the hall to his office. By day, Captain Justice was Grant Jacobs, an ordinary lawyer in Skyview City. Oh, I did make up a city! Wow! I'm bringing back Skyview.
Look at you
baby.
go.
I know. That's like a pretty good city name, too. Like, I'm gonna steal that from past me. Grant pulled the phone off of its receiver and pressed the pound key. Immediately, one of the large bookshelves slid aside, revealing the fire poles that led to the lair beneath the massive mansion. There was a change. 2 fire poles. On every other occasion her father had taken her to the lair, Liberty had only seen 1 fire pole, but now there were 2. She tried to hide the massive smile on her face, but it was impossible. She was too terribly happy. This way, Lib. That means different things now.
What year did you say this was?
2015, baby.
A simpler time.
The lair was a brightly lit high-tech space. It was large and held all of the things Captain Justice was most proud of. His uniform, his weapons, relics from saving the day, comic books made in his honor, and a large poster of the movie made for him that was due to come out in December. Finally, there was a large painting of Liberty's mother, framed with a candle lit beside it. Her curly golden hair framed her elegant features, and her emerald green eyes sparkled. There was one thing... the Liberty. I'm going to take a sip for every typo. You are all welcome to do the same.
Yeah, I'll join you. Solidarity.
So...
Liberty said, taking it all in again. Her eyes lingered on the portrait of her mother, but eventually met her father's gaze.
What did you want to show me?
Well, I've given this a lot of thought, her father sighed before motioning to the great glass case that usually held his suit and the suit of his sidekick, Sergeant Stars. But to the right of Grant's uniform, there was a curtain over another glass case. Captain Justice motioned his arm forward and the heavy red curtain fell, revealing a new suit. It was golden with a purple star in the center of the chest, just like his own, except the colors were reversed. This uniform was smaller, more slender and feminine. Liberty covered her mouth with her hand, tears threatening to escape her eyes. "This is yours," he told her. "I just figured, when you graduate, you'll need something to wear when you're fighting crime with me. And you don't exactly need a car with the ability to fly and all."
Thank you, Dad.
Liberty smiled and hugged her father quickly. It took him by surprise, but he enveloped her in his arms nonetheless.
It means a lot to me.
"I thought you might like it," he smiled. "How's school been?"
School is school.
She answered.
Same old, same old.
"And your grades?"
Dad.
Liberty.
I failed my powers, Dad.
"Failed? How on earth did you fail?" he asked, careful not to raise his voice at her. He smiled, laughing a little.
Well, they never let us practice. Practice dome is always booked. So, no, sure. I can't hold the I can't
The
hold the
Southern
character.
twang.
The practice dome is always booked. So no matter how far in advance you try to reserve it, I'm sorry.
It's fine. You know what? Everyone has to start somewhere. You'll get there.
Yeah, maybe.
Liberty sighed, but plastered a false smile on her face.
I'm sure I'll get better.
Oh, there's the other character. There you go, Phil.
Oh, what? Hold on, let me scroll down. Hey there, kiddo.
And in walked Steven Stars, Grant's famed sidekick. Steve was in his mid-20s. He's definitely not named after Captain America. Psh. Steve was in his mid-20s, along with the classic chiseled jaw and broad shoulders that typically came with being a superhero. Steve had chestnut brown hair and chocolate brown eyes with a heart of gold.
Happy birthday, little Jay.
Thanks, Steve.
Liberty smiled. Steve wasn't biologically her older brother, but he may as well have been. Steve had been Grant's sidekick for as long as she could remember. She says earlier that there's only one pole going down to... There was previously only one pole going down to the lair. And now
They
there are
shared.
two.
They shared.
I was the queen of continuity, obviously.
Oh, I got you something. I'm sorry.
No, it feels like in high school when they had us read stuff, and it would be your line, you were like, oh. He told her, bringing his hand out from behind his back. In it was a golden chain. On a purple medallion was written LJ in fancy golden cursive letters. He clasped the chain behind her neck.
Thanks.
She beamed happily.
You guys are spoiling me.
Oh no. I was touching and then it made me skip ahead like a bunch of pages.
Oh no!
You deserve it, Liv.
Grant said. Liberty glanced down at her watch. It's nearly 6 o'clock.
Yeah.
Hey.
If she didn't hurry, she wouldn't be able to get back to campus in time. And there's no period at the end, girl!
Yeah.
This is great.
What were you doing?
It's
Because
okay.
when you said drink for every typo, I was like, how many could there possibly be?
I won't let you guys do that for Through the Mist, or you would die. Up to
I
you,
like a challenge.
obviously.
I like a challenge.
I can take it.
No.
Connor, no, please. You have a job. You can't do this.
Dad.
No, wait, please go back to the other one. That was perfect.
Dad, if I don't get going, I'm going to be late for dinner.
We have pizza upstairs if you want to stay. I don't get to see you all that often. Have to make the most of it.
I would stay. I really would. But I promised
Liara.
Liara and Rachel that I would be there. I think they have something planned, but I'm not sure what.
Liberty explained. Steve nodded before stepping forward to hug her and ruffle her hair playfully.
Will do. Let's go, Dad.
It was with a heavy heart that he set her on the pavement in front of Skyview High. I'll come to visit you as soon as I can, okay?
Okay, Dad.
Don't forget to email me back this time, he told her. I miss hearing from you.
Email. Got it.
This was 2015. Who the is emailing their dad?
I'll see you on the news.
Yep, I'm sure you will, he agreed. Mistress Fate is always stirring up trouble,
I'm aware.
she stated.
But thanks for everything.
No problem, Lib. He hugged her before flying off into the sky. He watched with teary eyes as he flew away into the clouds, becoming smaller and smaller until she could see him no more,
Well, there he goes.
she thought.
Off to save the world again.
And she wished with all of her heart that maybe, possibly, he could manage to scrape together more time to see her. But until the world ran out of problems to solve and fights to be won, she would just have to deal with their limited agreement. Yay. I didn't realize we got an Adrian chapter. I remembered Liberty being like the central character, but I didn't realize that Adrian also had chapters, especially so early on as like chapter 2. He's like good. He's like angsty boy, you know, like angsty emo
cool.
boy.
Our Zuko.
Yeah, basically, literally our Zuko. Child of the main villain. I love him. I don't remember basically anything about him, but I remember loving him a lot.
I was gonna say that Connor could be Mistress Fate and I would be Adrian because I just want him to be my mom.
I love
But I
that.
can
I love
narrate
that.
if you'd like.
Do you want to do narrate and Adrian? I'll take on a third character if there is a third character, but I don't
Okay.
remember if there is or not.
I will do my best.
I believe in you, bestie.
I'm on my 4th glass of Chardonnay.
Oh my god!
I think that's it
Oh
for
my
me. But
God. Yeah, I'm on my second big margarita, and I am
yeah,
feeling
I'll
it.
probably move if I keep flubbing this. I apologize.
Big mood.
Chapter
Roast.
2.
Roast
What?
his ass in the comments.
No, please. I can't take it. Chapter 2. Adrian Fate lived what seemed like a world away. He was aware of the superheroes that lived in his town. He was more than aware, actually. His mother, Mara Fate, was Captain Justice's worst nemesis, Mistress Fate. He lived with her in a seemingly ordinary house in town. Mara took on the role of Mildred Fitzgerald. I don't know why that name made me laugh. Mildred Fitzgerald, the owner of a small bookstore. Sounds like a Clue character. Adrian helped out there on the weekends and after school. He seemed so normal to everyone that met him that they would never assume that he was the daughter of...
The daughter!
I was like, well, did I
Here, here.
Adrian is trans. This is canon.
gender fluid
Gender
representation?
fluid. Love that. Love that for them. I was ahead of my time.
JK is shaking in her boots.
No.
That he was the daughter of the world's greatest villain, nor that he had powers that rivaled those of his mother. It was because I heard Connor giggle. The house wasn't painted black, inside or outside. There were no weapons on the wall or dartboards with Captain Justice's face plastered on them.
The house wasn't painted black?
It was not.
Oh.
It's like, counteracting
It's-
to villain stereotypes.
Yeah, it's not what you would
Okay.
expect. It didn't look like Gru's house from Despicable Me.
I don't remember where we are.
It was shockingly
narrator.
ordinary. The house was filled with ordinary family pictures and paintings and lots of books. Adrian was seated in the bay window of his bedroom, curled up with a blanket and a book.
Adrian? Adrian?
You can do the voice.
I gotta channel my
Do the
best
voice. You
Regina
gotta-
Mills.
I was just
Yes.
gonna say Regina Mills.
Am I doing Adrian? Yes.
You're also the
Are you?
narrator.
Oh, I am also the narrator. Oh my god, I'm so gone. He
Me
asks,
too.
slipping his bookmark into his book and looking up at her. His green eyes glistened. He ran his hand back through his raven hair. What is it?
I have a favor to ask you.
What is it?
I know I don't usually ask you to help me with work, but there's no other way.
Work, Adrian repeated. You don't mean,
I do.
Mara said. A sly smile stretched across his face.
His
Wait.
face.
Her.
They're both gender fluid. It's okay. It runs in the family.
My
Absolutely
pronouns
it
are his,
does.
her.
His canon.
Is that all right with you?
I've been waiting for years, he admitted. It feels like I'm narrating out loud, like in character. I don't know. I've always sort of wanted to give it a try. That's you, Mama.
Yeah, I know. Mama's stuffed. She gotta catch her breath. She gonna burst. You hear what they say about me, Adrian? What they say on the news?
You're a villain, Mom. I know it. You know it. You betrayed the League. You tried to turn them against justice.
How do you
I've read the comics, Mom. I've watched the shows, read the history books. I know what happened.
And you're still up for this?
Oh yeah.
Excuse me.
God damn it.
I'm gonna find a burp reverb sound effect just for that.
I can't believe that broke me. I was doing so good.
What are you?
Yes, I was. I hate you so much. Oh my god. It's just the disgusting, like, oh my, like, and you're still up for this belch. And I never want to hear from you ever again.
I'm channeling. I'm not so much channeling Regina Mills anymore. More Rick Sanchez.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. What have you got planned?
I was hoping you'd ask.
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
I don't know. Do we want to skip ahead or do we want to just keep going? I don't know how many
we-
chapters there are.
We can.
Let me.
I'm sorry.
I'm gonna skip to the end and see how many chapters there are.
I didn't realize how
There
drunk I
are
was until I heard
53
Connor's belch.
chapters.
There's what?
53.
You were on a mission.
Literally.
You had a message, and you were going to say it. Wherever you want to go next.
Okay, it
'cause I don't
doesn't
know.
look like chapter 3 is important.
Okay.
There's Lady Light, question mark, which I think is the principal of the school. That looks like it's important. She has a daughter named Evie, I think. And then she has a friend named Rachel who has ice powers, but she's the daughter of a fire-themed hero. And then there's Liara. They're all roommates, the three of them, Rachel and Liara and Liberty. And her sister is on the league, not her parent. But she is from another planet called Xenon, which I don't even think was a reference to Xenon 21st Century Girl.
Okay, that's what I was wondering immediately.
Because it spelled like the element. I think I just looked at like the periodical table of elements like in my science class and I was like, oh, Xenon. Like, it's spelled with the X. And I think that's it. I think they're just like celebrating her birthday. She's like, oh, I got something from Steven Stars, etc., etc. We can go with chapter 4. I think that one is important.
Okay.
Okay.
We're still in our characters.
Yeah.
Okay. Mama.
What?
So
It's your line first, chapter 4.
Chapter 4.
Are you sure you want to do this, Adrian?
Mara asked her son one final time. Her finger was hovering above the call button of her cell phone, just itching to call her sisters and bring the trio of shadows together once more.
It's not too late to back down now.
I'm sure, Mom. Adrian nodded. I'm ready.
Don't say I didn't warn you. There's a reason you only see your aunts once a year.
Mara told him. She pressed the call button, and no later than 3 seconds later, there was a puff of green and purple smoke.
What are you laughing at?
The repetition. No later than 3 seconds later.
I'm so good at writing.
There was a puff of green and purple smoke. Mara's sisters had arrived. Mara herself was the oldest sister. She, like the other two, had raven black hair. When in contrast to her sisters, she had stormy gray eyes. Her skin was as pale as fresh snow. Her cheeks were rosy, and her lips were plush and as red as blood. The middle sister's name was Myrna. Along with her dark hair, Myrna had glowing eyes, luminous and mysterious, just like her. In her heyday, she had been called the Sorceress, so named for her powers over fire and magic, an ability she was very proud of and had learned to use very well. Myrna dressed in cloaks of dark emerald and black, with a bright lime green medallion. Some said it was magical, others said it was cursed. The youngest of the three was Mila. Mila was a trickster in her own right. Her black hair was matched with her strange violet eyes that always seemed to twinkle when there was chaos to cause. Watching people panic and scream was a hobby of hers, a goal even. She lived to make people hurt. Once they had called her Miss Malevolence, a wreaker of havoc and creator of trouble. Mila was able to teleport. She could also manipulate the thoughts of others and create visions that would leave people weeping and crying. Wait, who's gonna be Mila?
Oh, I can.
Okay.
Okay. We would have gotten here sooner, but we were waiting for you to call.
Mila said excitedly.
It's been such a long time, Mara.
I know.
I will also read for Myrna.
Because I'm fighting for my life here.
Let's imagine they're twins. This strapping young man couldn't possibly be my nephew Adrian, could it?
Asked Myrna, looking over the teenage boy. Hi, Aunt Mira. Adrian waved. He stood straighter, stretching his broad shoulders and eliminating his slouch.
What, no greeting for your favorite evil aunt?
Mila teased, smiling mischievously. Hi, hey, Aunt Mila. Adrian greeted reluctantly, preparing for any pranks or tricks or visions that could traumatize him for the rest of his life. Luckily, he was hex-free. This time, anyway.
Why did you call us, sister?
Oh, asked Myrna, looking to Mara.
Do you have a scheme? A revenge plot? Do you? They're giving Sanderson sisters. I don't know if I like
when I literally, when the puff of smoke, I was like, is this okay?
Yeah, it is giving
the purple and green smoke.
No, it was that do you. That was like that's Sarah Sanderson.
Sarah Sanderson. I don't think I intended that when I was writing it, but it is definitely giving that.
The subconscious was fucking struggling that movie.
I have an inkling of a plan. That's why I called you here.
It's all the M names that's making it hard.
I don't even know.
Mara told them.
Why is the boy here?
Asked Myrna.
I thought you wanted him to choose his own path.
I'm sorry.
Fine.
My delay. I was about to say, I'm so delayed.
No, you're good.
Did.
Me too, bestie. I keep looking at the screen and it feels like it's lagging, and I know that it's not. It's just that, like, my brain is ahead of where my eyeballs are registering.
Mara looked to Adrian, who nodded. I was born to be a villain, Adrian stated proudly. It's in my blood.
Well, in that case, what's the plan?
You all know of Captain Justice's power gauntlet. His most prized and precious possession.
We've seen it in use, Mara. It's impossible to get a hold of. No one can remove it from his hand but him. He never lets the thing out of his sight.
Myrna pointed out.
Not exactly, Myrna.
Mara folded her hands and rested her chin on them.
You see, Captain Justice... You see, Captain Justice has relaxed in our years of absence. If you've been watching footage of his recent fights on the news, you'll notice that he doesn't even bother to wear his power gauntlet anymore. It was only ever necessary when he and the rest of their pathetic league were fighting us.
Adrian listened quietly and smiled to himself. He had never, ever seen his mother while she was plotting, but he loved every second of it. She was so different. The contrast was incredible. Mila motioned outward with her hand. A vase full of a vase full of roses toppled over the table. God, toppled off the table and spilled all over the floor, water soaking into the carpet. Myrna rolled her eyes before flicking her hand up and setting the vase back in its place, the mess completely gone. It was nothing compared to his aunt's.
According to an article from...
Ben Shapiro?
According to an article from Skyview High's website, the gauntlet was moved to the trophy case with all of the other relics from the Golden Age.
Mara smiled.
It's our chance.
I like the idea, Mara.
Myrna said, stroking her chin with one of her slender fingers.
But when?
Next week after curfew on Friday night. More students leave for the weekends to visit their parents or in general just to get away from the school. With a third of the student body gone, there will be hardly anyone left to guard Skyview. And whoever is left won't be nearly sufficient enough to stop us.
You're forgetting one tiny detail.
Mila held up her fingers together, squinting.
The school is protected against our biological codes. We'll never get past that gate.
That's where he comes in.
Mara motion. Don't you? No, you didn't need to add a little Mara motion to Adrian.
The schools, they may have us on their registry, but they don't have him.
I love that you're doing the Reba McEntire. So what am I supposed to do? Break in a load and steal it? Adrian asked with concern. He was willing to do it, but he didn't know how successful he would be on his own.
Not to worry,
Mara reassured him.
you won't be alone. Back in the good old days, the three of us had quite a following of secondary villains who weren't quite menacing enough to be registered. Luckily, a few of them are interested in this job.
Okay, Adrian nodded. I can work with this.
Oh, that's me. They grow up so fast.
Sniffed Mila.
One day he's taking his first steps, and the next he's participating in his first plan of world domination. We have a lot of training to do if he's going to be ready by Friday. We could have used a bit more notice for something like this.
Myrna shot an unamused glance at her sister.
It would be rather suspicious if we were gathered here all the time. No one knows Adrian and I have been hiding out here. I don't wish to change that anytime soon.
Mara argued.
Well, whatever the case, we have our work cut out for us.
Mila agreed.
But you're right, we can't work here. It's too obvious.
What were you thinking, Mila?
Mara asked. Mila snapped her fingers and the four of them were engulfed in a whiff of swirling smoke. Where they were headed, only she knew. But it was going to be wonderful in the wickedest way.
Wow.
Why do you keep giggling?
Birthday party.
I'm just having a good time.
I am too. This is
Yay!
fun.
This is Liberty's birthday party. There's a British time traveler? Who the fuck?
Doctor Who?
Okay, I feel like we do have to read chapter 5 then. Okay, I will narrate
Girl,
for
it's your
the
book.
Liberty chapter.
Okay. What'd you say, Connor?
Girl, it's your book. But I also I have my custom Funkos. This is Mia Quain from Lost and Found. She was.
That's Sarah Lance.
Yes. Yeah. She was White Canary,
and
and I painted over her. And she still has the stick because like Mia doesn't use this in the book. She just got a gun. She doesn't have any cool weapons. She just got a gun. So
Are there not a lot of women Funkos with guns?
not necessarily, unfortunately. And then I have this
That
one. This
makes
is
sense.
repainted to be Elizabeth Bloodmere, but this is Aubrey from Pitch Perfect. Chapter 5. Liberty coughed and fanned the gray smoke out of her face. It tasted like hairspray smells. She grimaced and looked to her right. A smoke machine.
Imagery. Strong.
A smoke machine. It was it was adjacent to a DJ booth. How they had managed to set it up without any of the supervisors noticing was beyond her, but Liberty was impressed nonetheless. All of the soon-to-be heroes looked up at her and smiled. "Happy birthday, Liberty!" they shouted. Liberty smiled and laughed and took it all in. There was a great purple banner with Liberty's Super 16 written in golden letters. Melody Waves. I have no clue who that is. I genuinely do not remember her. I remember most of the other side characters. I have no recollection of her whatsoever.
Damn. Justice for Melody.
I assume, based on her name, she either has sound powers or water powers, but we can't be sure at this point.
My money's on sound because she's at the DJ booth.
That is true. Stood behind the DJ table with a party playlist so good it made angels cry. She was currently playing Holding Out for a Hero. There was a 2-layer chocolate and vanilla
No way. You're listening to this song while I'm saving you?
Honestly, I wish my 16th was like this.
There was a 2-layer chocolate and vanilla birthday cake and so many streamers and balloons that about the only colors anyone could see were purple and gold.
Thanks, guys. This is amazing.
Slowly, all of the teens turned their attention away from Liberty and faded into the hype of the party once more, dancing to the music or enjoying snacks at the food table.
How did you guys manage to pull this off?
Liberty asked Liara and Rachel.
With lots and lots of
You have to commit to that now. I hope Rachel got a monologue somewhere.
Incredible. There was a flash of light, and none other than Tobias Mayweather appeared beside them. He was wearing a leather jacket, a white t-shirt, and his hair was slicked back. Why is he British? Connor, that means you're reading, bitch.
He can't do a British accent. He'll die.
Condemned.
Pip, pip, cheerio. Sorry I'm late, my dears. I was held up in the 1970s. Huh? I was held up in the 1970s preventing a gang from killing a future president.
I love that he's like, this is a casual like talk amongst like immediately opening up about this is what I was doing. This is small talk to him.
And now, I love that I covered the continuity error because I was thinking in the present moment, why is he allowed to use his powers when the others have to wear cuffs that prevent them from using their superpowers? But Teenage Morgan thought ahead. She explained it. We're gonna find out why. And now, you may be wondering how it is that Tobias is allowed to travel through time if his peers' powers are restricted with cuffs. Tobias did indeed wear a power cuff. But due to the nature of his powers, the cuff was ineffective at suppressing his powers. And also, Tobias wasn't technically enrolled at the school. I didn't know that. No one knew.
Where'd he come from?
No one knew exactly
Nobody knows.
when or where he was from. He just happened to pop in from time to time, drop a vague hint about where he's been, or leave a clue about the future, and then leave as soon as he had come. But this didn't mean he didn't have any friends. Just the opposite. Tobias was friends with almost everyone in the entire school at one point or another. What a guy, man. So he doesn't go to the school, but he does wear a cuff, but it doesn't work.
He just wants
Literature.
just wants to fit in. That sounds like quite the adventure, Tobias.
Liberty commented.
Oh, it was. But I wouldn't so much as miss the Super 16.
What's the accent? What happened
But
to
I
the
wouldn't
accent?
miss as much as Pip Pip Cheerio.
I want to hear the thick Cockney accent. But I wouldn't so much.
But I wouldn't so much as miss the Super 16 of Liberty Justice. Tell me, my dear, have you met Mr. Fate yet?
Tobias asked. He took Liberty's wrist and gently kissed the back of her hand. Liberty furrowed her eyebrows.
Who? Never mind.
Tobias dismissed. Liberty looked at him skeptically. Tobias used events to track his timeline. Evidently, whoever this Mr. Fate was, he was important, but it could be months or even years before Liberty knew what it meant.
Anyway, have a lovely birthday, Liberty. I'll see you well in the future.
He declared before disappearing again. Do you want to read Liara or do you want me to?
Oh, I can.
Okay.
Tobias certainly
Oh,
is
it's
a character,
the Blake
isn't he?
twins. Okay, this is a
The
completely
Blake
separate
twins?
character.
Oh my god.
It's interesting. They share one body, but when they're off campus, they split into two separate people. So it's like the one girl from Sky High that's like the whole cheer squad. Like, that's
okay.
kind of the premise, is like she's two people in one person, and then she splits off and she can like duplicate into several people.
Okay.
Continue.
And now I've committed to a whole southern accent bit. So isn't that great? Tobias certainly is a character, isn't he?
A new voice asked. Liberty, Liara, and Rachel turned around and came face to face with the Blake twins. Emma, the sassier of the girls, had green eyes, and Mary, the softer, kinder of the two, had icy blue eyes. While the girls shared a body, their eyes were one of each, and although heroes weren't supposed to pick their heroic names until graduation, Emma and Mary had their eyes on the name of Unity. Oh, I guess
I'll
it's
be Mary.
Emma. Emma spoke first,
Okay.
because Mary is now addressing her.
Then I guess I'll be
You're Emma?
Yeah.
Oh, come on, Emma. Be nice, Mary told her sister.
He's weird, though.
Emma argued.
Last week, he showed up asking how my son was doing, and when I freaked out, he disappeared.
And yesterday, he said not to feel bad about the breakup. What breakup? We don't have boyfriends, Mary added.
Anyway, happy birthday, Liberty.
Thanks.
Liberty replied,
Thanks.
hugging the strange set of twins. Evie isn't here, is she? Mara asked, looking around.
I thought you were her roommates.
Rachel said.
Southern accent.
I knew I would regret this. Do you think that was our choice? All of her popular friends paired up, and we got stuck with her.
She's here.
Liberty said, eyes wide and cheeks flushed.
I'm looking right at her.
There, standing in the doorway with a wicked grin, was none other than Evie Light. Her flawless brunette beach waves were perfectly in place around her slender tan shoulders. She was wearing a white shirt adorned with gold glitter, and her eyelids were powdered the color of fresh snow.
Everybody's the color of fresh snow in this book.
Literally. This was before Morgan was a WGS minor. Soon, sorry. Soon, Liberty saw the reason Evie was grinning. Standing behind her was her mother, Elizabeth Light, the school's principal.
Oh, hell no.
Liberty muttered.
She's a rat. Uh-oh.
That little traitor!
Rachel muttered.
What?
You're going too high. Your noise suppression is cutting you out.
What?
What is going on in here? Principal Light boomed. The music came to a halt. The lights were flicked on. The fog machine fizzled out. And all of the teens cleared the room faster than you could say, "Holy cannoli, Captain Justice!" The only three left in the room were Liberty, Liara, and Rachel. These three decided to throw a little party. Evie pointed to the girls. That's good enough, Evie. Back to your room. Principal Light dismissed her daughter. But you three, in my office, now.
Yes, Principal Light.
The girls hung their heads in shame and followed the woman through the halls and to her office. Chapter 7. What on earth were you thinking? Scolded Principal Light from her seat behind her desk. Liberty, Liara, and Rachel were all seated before her in her office.
Oh, it's Liberty's birthday party, Principal Light.
Rachel pointed out.
Her Super 16. We wanted to make sure she had fun.
By throwing a party that is clearly against the rules? Challenged Principal Light. Oh, I'm also Liara. What else? What else are we supposed to do? The stupid rules won't let us have any more than 20 people gather at a time. Liberty spoke up. Did we mention that it's her birthday? I'm aware it's her birthday. The reason her father canceled our plans for today. Principal Light didn't sound very amused. Oh.
Huh?
Are the principal and her father having an affair?
An affair? Isn't her mom dead?
Her mom is dead. Oh, they
Well,
are! Holy shit!
Well, I'm sorry. His only daughter is more important than his girlfriend.
You didn't do that with like a finger waving emotion.
I've been looking forward to today my entire life. Excuse me while I enjoy it.
She's the main character.
All three of you are on guard duty for 2 weeks.
You know what? Fine. I totally love to guard the stupid school on my birthday. Thank you for this wonderful opportunity.
Liberty shouted, fighting back tears. Do you want to make it 3, young lady? Light threatened. A tear rolled down Liberty's cheek as Rachel and Liara sat in stunned silence. They were both aware of the tension between Light and Liberty, as she was soon to be Liberty's stepmother.
Because you're my dad's girlfriend doesn't make you my mom.
Exposition.
Bum bum! Liberty shouted, wiping the tear from her face. She stood from her chair.
Rachel, Liara, we're leaving.
I have not dismissed you. You can't hold us captive. We're leaving. Liara glared at Principal Light. I'll be sure my sister hears about this.
I love this scene. I'm sorry.
It's giving Draco Malfoy.
That's you, bestie.
Oh,
Southern
she's a
accent.
bitch, Liv. Don't let her get in your head.
I don't want her to be my stepmom.
Liberty cried.
I can't.
It's okay, Liara assured her. There's no way I'm going to let her get away with this.
With what? Giving us detention? It's kind of her job.
She's punishing you for a personal issue, Lib, Liara pointed out. She didn't give us guard duty until after you commented that you were more important to your father than she is.
Oh, good catch.
Rachel smiled.
I didn't think of that.
It was the O in character.
Oh!
That doesn't change the fact that we have to guard tonight.
We'll make the best of it.
Rachel promised.
Just you wait.
Chapter 9. I'm on chapter 8.
No.
That's
yeah,
why
we
I'm not
skipped 8
asleep.
because it's bullshit.
It's bullshit.
I hate this job.
Liberty stated. It was Friday night, the night of the deed.
It could be worse. Light could be making us clean the training facility.
Did you email your dad, Liberty? Liara asked.
He hasn't emailed back.
You're still emailing! I thought I would drop that. Liberty replied despondently. That's a big word for Elmo.
Tomato paste.
That's a big word for Elmo.
Despondently.
Didn't expect him to anyways.
The girls walked to the weapons ward where the guard chief, a hero named Aftershock, was waiting for them. Aftershock served on the League. He had powers over earthquakes and tremors. There's a new character.
I'll do it.
Hell yeah.
Back again, girls?
He asked, shaking his head and smiling.
You 3 can't seem to get enough of me, can you? Don't expect anything.
Aftershock told them, polishing one of the school's prized stun guns.
Friday nights are always slow.
We're aware.
Rachel replied.
Ups up.
He instructed. They all held their wrists out to him, and he used a special key to unlock the thick cuffs that bound their right wrists. As soon as they were removed, a tingle ran up Liberty's arm.
They just get the go-ahead.
Literally. And also, like, if you got your powers unlocked, why would you not want to be on guard duty every single night? Each of the girls picked up a gun. A gun! From the table.
Girls get it done.
Yeah! Women's History Month. Stun the victim until he or she could be apprehended. I should have just said they.
Yeah.
This was before. They only had to be used every now and again, but they were effective, eliminating threats without eliminating them. It kept the jails busier than the funeral homes. Holy
Wow.
Wow.
God!
2015, Morgan. Not using they, them pronouns.
Literally.
Shoot to kill. Are you ready to go, girls?
Aftershock nodded and motioned to the door. It led straight to the outside. The girls walked through and out into the chilly night air. Liberty didn't even hesitate to rise up into the night air. Her body gave off a faint golden glow, and her hair seemed to drift weightlessly in the wind. It was times like this she felt as heroic as her father. She felt strong, brave, powerful. It was a welcome change. Let's... Oh, that's your line.
Let's get this over with.
The girls began patrolling the grounds, searching for signs of any potential intruders. It seemed as though an eternity passed before Liberty finally got the alert on her specialized wristband. Is this a different wristband than the other wristband? Because he took the cuffs off of that. Perhaps this Friday night wouldn't be so eventless after all. There was an intruder in the trophy hall. Bum bum bum. I wonder who it is. Kinda where you go.
I put the props away. I hope I don't need the gun. I hope Liberty doesn't shoot anyone this chapter.
Chapter 10. Finally, the moment had come. Adrian was standing outside the gates of Skyview High. He never in all of his 17 years thought he would find himself standing here, in the center of the hero's education system.
How are
How
we
we
supposed
supposed to get in?
You can
Are
take
they
him,
Venom?
Connor.
Is this person just Venom? Adrian brought his hands together, creating a small ball of shadow energy in his palms. He focused on the lock, slowly melting it right off the gate. Come on, Adrian motioned the others forward, slowly creeping through the campus, careful to stick to the shadows. He took a brief glance and looked overhead. There was a girl there, floating above and scanning the grounds. Her long, wavy blonde hair drifted lazily through the breeze. He swore it was just a trick of the night, but she appeared to glow, even if only faintly. Adrian held his breath and waited for her to pass. Once she was out of sight, he made a mad dash for the nearest building and slipped inside the door, looking around.
Where do we go now, Adrian?
Mom said it was near here, just look out for it. He ordered quietly. The others nodded and scurried, scattering away in all directions. Adrian smirked and nodded at his work. They were intimidated. That was the start. Adrian turned the corner and walked on. There, the trophy case. And smack dab in the center of it was the great golden glove, Captain Justice's famous almighty power bomb. He walked closer and lit his hand with dark energy. Ever so slowly, he reached forward to melt the glass. It was so close. All he had to do was reach out and take it. Not so fast. Oh, wait, no.
That's
Is that me?
Liberty.
Yeah, okay.
It's
Not
like
so
not
fast.
Oh, my camera died.
He's gonna be gone for a minute.
Oh, no, I'm not.
No, I'm not.
Don't lie. Adrian whipped his head around, and it was the girl from before. She stood in a tack stance. I'm sorry, I don't know why I tack stance. Made me laugh. Before he could stop her, she flew forward and tackled him to the ground in a flash of golden light. Captain Marvel?
Captain Marvel.
Where did he disappear to
What
now?
if I just punched and then his Discord screen went woo? Chapter 11. I almost read that as it didn't take Liberty long to find the murder. That's not what it says.
The murderer.
The
Because this
murderer.
is also a murder mystery.
It didn't take Liberty long to find the intruder. He stood with his back to her, his hand outstretched and lit with a dark sort of energy. His hair was as black as a raven's feathers, and his skin was the palest she'd ever seen. It was as if the boy's skin had never seen the sun. It had, but not in at least a week. Mood.
Not so fast.
Liberty called. The boy turned to face her, a look of shock on his face. He had been caught in the act. Without hesitation, Liberty lunged forward and tackled him to the ground.
Get off me.
He shouted as he struggled to escape her. Somehow, the boy managed to wriggle out from under her. He stood to face her. Liberty raised a stun gun, but the boy used his dark energy to knock it out of her hand, skittering away across the floor. He swung a fist at her, but she ducked and grabbed his wrist.
Who the hell do you think you are?
Liberty challenged. She pinned him to the lockers with his hands behind his... Hands behind his back. He must be, like, facing
Bum
the
bum
lockers.
beat 'em.
Bum,
Bum
bum,
beat 'em.
Before she could slam a suppressor on his wrist, he blasted her with energy, sending her back. She lit her fist with power of her own and shot him in the back as he attempted to make an escape.
Shit.
He shouted, flopping onto the ground.
Who the hell are you, woman?
Woman, am I not the same age as you?
What 17-year-old is gonna say that?
What do you mean?
One written by a 15-year-old brat.
Why does he sound like Stewie Griffin? What do you...
Liberty Justice. That shiny little glove is my dad's gauntlet.
Wait a second.
The boy laughed, a wicked scowl forming on his features.
Your name is Liberty Justice? That's the stupidest thing I've ever heard.
Shh, that's
We
not
love
my line.
self-awareness.
Yeah!
Shut up.
She shouted. She held the stun gun to the boy's chest.
I'll use this if I have to.
No, you won't. You're a hero for evil's sake. You what? I'm sorry.
Take your
You
time,
wouldn't.
King.
You wouldn't shoot. You wouldn't shoot me point blank. No one in this school has the guts.
He scoffed.
It's
He
not a
sounds like
real
an
gun,
Italian
genius.
He sounds like the Godfather. No one in this school has the guts.
Liberty pulled the trigger, zapping the boy with the gun's pure energy. The boy fell limp against the floor. The only thing he could move was his eyes.
Oh my god.
Keep quiet.
Liberty smiled.
Although it's not like you have a choice.
Jesus.
What's your problem, Phil?
That's a powerful ass stun gun.
What do you mean? It stuns you.
Gave him
Yeah.
sleep paralysis in real time. The only thing he can move is his eyeballs.
It deactivates every nerve in your body so you can't move a single thing but your eyeball.
Liberty grabbed the boy's wrist and clicked a cuff around it. The gem glowed for a second before fading. Liberty sighed before slipping her arms around his back and under his knees. She flew out of the building and back into the courtyard, the boy watching her wide-eyed.
So she's carrying him like this. And he's just fucking
Limp.
eyeballs.
All he can move is his eyeballs. He's just like...
So she
the
so
gross
she's
little
just
plushie.
got him.
Yeah,
And he's got the
genuinely.
same look.
All he can do is blink. Perfect.
It's,
In character.
I love that this is an enemies to lovers. This is a great.
That's a Liberty line, my dude.
Oh, I was too busy with getting my props.
Getting in character.
Rachel, Liara, I found an intruder. Alert Principal Light.
Roger that.
Rachel replied.
We found a breach in the gate.
Liberty responded. She looked to the limp boy dangling in her arms and offered a smug smirk.
We'll get you taken. We'll get you taken care of, buddy. Don't you worry.
He's fucking dying. Chapter 12. Adrian couldn't believe he had gotten his ass handed to him by a girl? A girl
Bum, bum,
named
bum.
Liberty. No less. Her name was the most cliche he had ever heard, and that was saying a lot.
It's okay,
Take your
Adrian.
time,
I
Mike.
got you.
You hold him. But as he lay limp in her arms, all he could do was watch and think. Suddenly, his power was gone. He couldn't reach out telepathically. He couldn't create energy or fly away. He was powerless, useless, weak, vulnerable, and in all the worst place possible to be all of those things at once.
We'll get you taken care of. Don't you worry, buddy. Didn't I just say that?
Yeah, it's like
It's
it's
a
when the
loop.
different POVs like repeat
Yeah.
the same part.
He rolled his eyes, that being just about the only thing he could do at the moment. He watched her smirk. If he could growl, he would, but it seemed that even his vocal cords weren't cooperating with him anymore. When Liberty landed in front of the other two, they looked him over,
Well done, girls.
praised the superheroine that Adrian could only assume was Principal Light. She had long, curly, chocolate brown hair and was dressed in all white. When she flew, she seemed to radiate with pure light, hence the name, he presumed.
Do you know who he is?
Liberty, yes. Holding her arms out a few inches. Adrian rolled his eyes again.
Just by looking at him, no. But Mr. Strange has some truth serum whipped up. We'll see what
Awesome.
he has to say in the morning once the stun gun is worn
I
off.
love that. Does that mean Principal Light? He melted the lock off. The platinum blonde held up a clump of useless metal.
I see.
Light stroked her chin.
I'll post Aftershock on gate duty. Liberty, follow me. We're taking him to the detention ward.
Why am I the student just carrying around this child? Shouldn't Aftershock or you take
You
him?
would think.
She followed the woman across the courtyard and into one of the buildings. They trekked down several flights of stairs until the finally came into what? Adrian?
Oh, that's a typo.
Okay, I thought it was going crazy. Until they finally came into what Adrian figured was the detention ward. It was cold, sterile, white, and smelled like a smelled like hospital.
Yoink.
If he could have, he would have shuddered. Or thrown up on the floor, probably. The light scanned some sort of card on the door to one of the cells. The set of bars slid out of the way. Liberty stepped through. She set Adrian on the only bed inside. And because he couldn't move, he just laid there, stupidly. Damn! Anyway. Liberty grabbed his free wrist and hooked another cuff to it. This cuff was chained to the wall of the cell. It looked like he wasn't going anywhere. Liberty smirked, pulled a blanket over him, and saluted.
Oh, they
Good night. I'll see you bright and early for questioning.
The blonde teased. Adrian rolled his eyes again and mentally cursed. If he had any control of his hands whatsoever, he would have used a very rude gesture. Without a question of a doubt, Adrian was certain of one thing. He hated Liberty Justice. This is fucking awesome.
So we are left with a choice, fellas. Do we want to skip to the end and spoil the ending for you, or do we want to come back to this another night and continue?
I think it would be fun to come back to this.
I was
What do
gonna
you think?
say, I kind of.
Because it just
It's- yeah, I
finally
was about to
got
say-
good.
It's not like, yeah, I was about to say, it's not like it's waning in quality. Like, all of this is so good.
If Phil says that, we read the next 40 chapters and it's just dog doo-doo.
Dog
ass.
doo-doo and war crimes. I hope you enjoy this video. If you like it, feel free to hit the like button down below. Subscribe for more content. Subscribe to both of their channels. They make awesome stuff all the time. Take your meds, drink your water, and I will see you next week. Bye, everybody. This is going to be the intro and the outro, I think. I'm really trying right now.